you miss us? We know you did. That's why we're back sitting here for you. I know you're possibly wondering what could they be reviewing with a Cub shirt on and a Captain America hat. But it's obviously that we're revealing a Marvel movie. And this time, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hey, what's up? So yes, thank you. This is I'm Just Saying with Mark.
And Fallon.
Here to review, as we said, the latest entry in the Marvel Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to the hit Ant-Man. 2018 hit starring Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. Michael Douglas takes place basically concurrently with Avengers Infinity War. And so I'll just go ahead and start. I love this movie. I love what they did. I loved Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. I thought this movie had more humor, which was much needed after the heavy tones of Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War. So they, especially with Paul Rudd, he's very charismatic and he brings a lot of humor to any movie.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. And I felt like this one was even funnier than the first Ant-Man.
They went on, to show why he wasn't in Avengers Infinity War, because he was on house arrest, which turns out he's only days away from getting out. And just the stuff he does to try and kill time was funny. The interactions with the police and his ex-wife's new husband loves him even more, which was kind of out of left field, but it still worked. And of course, the relationship between him and his daughter, Cassie.
So cute.
Which, as you know, she turns into a hero herself in the comic books when she gets older. And that was, for me, heavily hinted at throughout this movie whenever they talked about that he needs a partner. She wants to be...
They brought that up a lot, but she kept saying, oh, you need a partner, you need a partner. Which
for me, and this kind of, I'm kind of bouncing around, but I'm just so excited for this movie. They kept, especially with the deal, this movie was about trying to rescue the original Janet, the Wasp, Michael Douglas's wife, Hank Pym, Janet Pym, from the quantum realm. And throughout that, they talk about time vortexes and all this stuff. So for me, whenever Cassie's talking about that, can't help but wonder, which we'll talk about towards the end, given the mid-credit scene, if that'll tie into the next Avengers movie. Yeah. And we'll get to that. But yes, as we said, this was all about trying to get to the quantum realm, pull Janet Van Dyne out, since, as revealed in the last movie, Scott Lang was able to go in there and get out, which had previously not happened before. But they start out on the run because of what he did during Civil War, and then turns out they need him based on a dream he had where him and Janet connected, and the action takes off from there. There wasn't really a big, heavy bad in this movie. The big bad was, quote unquote, the ghost, but her reasons were for trying to get herself better, because she got caught in the middle of an explosion that left her basically damaged, and
she was dying. She only had so much time.
So you couldn't help but feel compassion. Now, there was, Walton Goggins played a drug runner, or I don't say drug runner, but arms runner or something. And now he was trying to go after Hank Pym's technology through a mystery man who talked on the phone but was never revealed by the end of it. So who that was, I'm sure will tie in to if there's an Ant-Man and the Wasp Part 2, a.k.a. Ant-Man Part 3. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that they left that thread open, because it definitely shows that they have places that they want to go with that. But again, I was kind of okay with the fact that they didn't have a heavy bad, that it was just kind of a fun, let's rescue Janet type movie. And from the very first scene at the, I don't know if they were in a restaurant or the hotel, whenever the Wasp debuts, loved her.
Yeah, I really liked her in this movie. I think she was a lot better than the first movie.
Ant-Man being jealous of her, that she can fly, and all that, which was revealed in the trailer. But the blasters, it was available. But the interaction between him and Michael Douglas was very funny as well, and just seeing them together as Ant-Man and the Wasp, loved it. Him trying to come up with new names for his flying ant was funny too. Antonio Banderas, and just a fun movie.
My favorite part was when he was at the school and he was having problems with the suit and he shrank down. Not completely shrunk down, but it shrunk down to like a kid size. And then they were making fun of how he looked like a kid. And when he got back in the car, Michael Douglas was like, "Did you have a good day at school?" He's like, "Do you need a juice box and what was it?
Some kind of snack. Do you
some
really
kind
have
of
that?"
cheese." And he's like, "Do you really have that?"
That was funny. But yeah, him as a kid during that whole thing was very funny. Hey, what's up, Ant-Man? Ant-Man, what's up, bro? Sorry. Yeah, that was very funny, which that gave them found them a way to try and make him smaller and bigger, which they revealed Giant Man in Civil War, and to me that was probably the last I thought we were going to see of a Giant Man, because they didn't know if it would fit into the story. But with him having a malfunctioning suit, by the end of it, of course, you see this big old Giant Man in the ocean. And once he falls over, gave me a reason never to go in the ocean, because I don't want to be swimming and all of a sudden I come across a 64-foot man just chilling in the water. Between that and dinosaurs and megalodons and jellyfish, I'll be in the pool.
There's scary stuff in the pool too.
Not like the ocean.
That's true.
You don't see megalodon story movies in the pool. You just have to worry about kids peeing in the pool. Anyway, so yes. Hey, what's up, bear? That was a very funny scene with the thing, which again they played on it later when his suit kept malfunctioning. And then they revealed the big twist with his partner, where it looked like he was going to be a bad guy, played by Lawrence Fishburne. But it turns out he was just trying to help the Ghost get better. Of course, once again, there was another backstory addition where Hank Pym had yet another falling out with yet another person, which they actually commented on that seems to be a pattern. With the amount of times Hank Pym's had falling outs with previous people. Yeah. But again, most of the movie was story driven to try and make her better, the Ghost better, and find Janet, and who's been in the quantum realm for like 30 plus years, if not somewhere around there. So by the end of the movie, of course, Scott Lang, they sent, which I loved that they put Hank Pym in his original Ant-Man suit and sent him into the quantum realm to try and find her.
Yeah.
That gave Michael Douglas, which, especially at the beginning of the movie with the de-aging processes and stuff, Marvel could really make some movies and de-age these actors and go back and tell some old stories.
Yeah, they really could. I thought they did a really great job showing the younger versions, CGI and whatever their face. You couldn't even tell. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, I felt like I was watching Dangerous Minds.
Yeah. So to see him go in there and to try to rescue his wife, I love that, while Ant-Man and the Wasp were out there trying to, keep control of things and get things reestablished so that he could rescue her. And of course, I can't continue about talking Ant-Man without talking about his sidekicks, Lewis and the other ex-cons who now started their own business. Lewis, of course, you can't get enough of him. They added his own business. They have this security business or something based on the success of the last movie.
Systems, I think.
And they added a lot of humor to this one, all the way down to Scott's desk was a little thing that they found out in the garbage. Him trying to bring the Wasp back. He wants his own suit. Doesn't have to have any powers, but he just wants a suit. Yeah. But he brought a lot of humor to that movie, and I can't get enough of that guy. And of course, I was really hoping for, they finally did it with the truth serum part where when the music starts up and they go through the whole little story mode. And once you start him, you gotta let him finish. But he definitely brought a lot of humor to the movie, and he was integral in this. Actually, that whole crew was integral in the finale, was saving the day. And of course, Hank finally finds Janet, who's been there for 30 plus years. How did she survive? What does she do? Is she okay? All that all that really would probably be established because if you watch the movie, I think it's maybe the last 10 minutes when she shows up.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer's heavily promoted for this movie, but she doesn't have a lot of airtime. So, which of course that can be revealed in the sequel, but
maybe she's bad now.
I don't know.
So,
That would be a good twist. Maybe the quantum realm
I
drives
don't
her
know what
crazy.
her motivation would be.
I think
Other than just being mad that she was in there for so long.
I think that based on the interaction between her and him when they finally reunite, I don't see how they could make her bad. Without making AntMan bad, which...
Because he went into the realm too.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but she has a tearful reunion with her daughter, connects with Scott. Then, of course, the finale of the show, they found a house and they put it on the beach, and Scott and... what's her name? The Wasp are back together. Hope with Cassie watching a movie in a miniaturized Hot Wheel, watching a laptop movie, which I thought that was funny.
The moments where they were shrunk down in the cars were hilarious because it would just be them driving in the car,
Little baby car driving,
and then it'd be like a wide scene with just this little this little Hot Wheel going across the road.
Those scenes, they definitely found ways to add humor to this, and I love those scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the big finale, and of course, can't not talk about the mid-credits scene, which part of the big mystery for this movie is where does it tie in to Infinity War, and the mid-credits scene revealed that basically this movie runs concurrently to the events. Because the mid-credit scene shows where, they all want to help the ghost and get some of the energy from the quantum realm, bring it back, and give it to the ghost. So they send Scott in, Janet, Hank, and Hope, and they're talking. They got a way to talk to him while in the quantum realm. They got all that worked out. Scott goes in, gets what they need. They're all joking with each other, and then you hear something, and you're like, oh. And they go back, and all you see is...
Well, Scott's like, where'd you guys go? Because they were supposed to zap him back from the realm, and they don't do it. And he's like, guys. And then it shows them, and literally from the end of Infinity War, when everybody's disintegrating, all three of them are disintegrating.
But you don't see him disintegrate. You see him look at each other like they knew something was wrong. Right? You never saw him disintegrate.
Yes, you did. When they came,
I thought they just showed them as the dust.
Them, but it showed them as dust, so that you knew that they were one of the people.
Which you wouldn't have known that if you didn't watch Infinity War.
Yeah.
So definitely. So now that's the game changer. Now the three of them. But you gotta feel bad for Janet. She no sooner comes back and she's turned to dust.
True.
But
well, it feels worse for AntMan because now he's stuck in the realm.
So now,
and no one knows but them.
If you watch the end of Infinity War and your compassion is for people like Iron Man who's stuck on that planet with Nebula, how much worse can it not be for Ant-Man who's trapped in the quantum realm with nobody knowing he's there and no way to get out? Wow! Now, one of the other things about the quantum realm, which Janet warned him not to stay too long, is because of the time vortexes. That to me was in between what Cassie was saying and time vortexes, and now where Scott is. All of that has to tie in to the Infinity War Part 2, whatever that's going to be called. I still think it's going to be called Endgame. But so that's going to be a game changer. Will Cassie be an adult version? Will they go into the future, the past? And where will that tie up? And where would that lead to the sequels? This was a game-changing moment, which, of course, the whole Infinity War and this credit scene were. And I cannot wait for... I mean, this just leaves you drooling and wanting the sequel for Avengers even more.
It makes you want Infinity War, well, the next Avenger movie, even more. You're just like, oh, I want to know so bad how they're going to do this.
So that was the mid-credits scene. There is an after-credits scene, which kind of disappointing. You kind of hear the TV that something's wrong, and then you see the ant that they used to replace Scott during the movie, so that he could help them while on house arrest, was just playing the drums. to me, they could have used another Captain Marvel segue or something, just because that is the next movie, and so that was which after the heavier mid-credit scene, that was kind of a, but still, great movie, great mid-credit scene. Can't wait to see it again. Again, I love, and they didn't, they mentioned their training and apparently they loved each other, or not love, but had a relationship in between. But I loved how they dove right into the Wasp in this one, and you didn't have to see her train.
Yeah,
they just dove right into the action.
Already in the action, and
so this is definitely one of the. Marvel has done it again with another hit, and
they just make good movies.
So, final thoughts. Definitely go see this if you can. Even, Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy were two of the movies that I went, which the original Ant-Man was kind of like, but Marvel knows how to sell them. Marvel knows how to make and sell movies, and again, I can't, if you loved Infinity War, if you love Marvel, you got to check out this movie. You'll laugh, you'll cry with that mid-credit scene, and you'll be so excited for, which again, the next movie's Captain Marvel, so really we won't know anything about this. Let's see, we're in July now, so for another 9 or 10 months until the next Avengers movie comes out.
When does Captain Marvel come out? January?
February or April, I think.
Oh gosh.
One of the two. Probably February. Which they're in the middle of making that right now. But that takes place in the 90s, before all these movies, so again, this is it, so definitely take this in. This is one of the final movies going into the next Infinity War, but just as an Ant-Man movie, go see this if you love. And again, the de-aging process that the Marvel has done, they're rumored to be doing more with Samuel L. Jackson and Clark Gregg and Captain Marvel, since that takes place in the 90s. And if that's as good as what they've done just for a few minutes in these, they've definitely got potential hits on their hands with all these movies that could take place in the past, with all these older actors. But at the same time, it's kind of, with this, what will happen in Infinity War? How will it change the game? What will happen with the actor? I definitely believe that Hope, Janet, and Hank will all be back for the next Ant-Man. I don't see how you go about but again, Marvel could prove me wrong. But I do think that they'll all be back for an Ant-Man 2 and Wasp 2, but we'll see. So, in the meantime, those are the final thoughts. We appreciate you checking in to see what we had to say this time.
Yep. Like our video if you enjoyed it. We'd appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. We try to do weekly videos.
That button.
We'd really appreciate it. We'd love to have you here.
Here, right here. Show us some love.
Thank you for watching.
Be marvelous. Thank you for watching.
It.
We appreciate it. Thank you for checking in to see what we had to say this time. And until next time, stay frosty.
Bye-bye.
Peace!